Hi there, I'm Stella from Stella's Yarn Universe. I hope you're all well. In this crochet tutorial, I will show you how to make these unicorn and dragon pencil toppers. The story behind it is that Amber messaged me on Etsy because her daughter spotted the unicorn that you can see in my intro, the unicorn pencil topper, and she asked her mom to make one for her, which is so sweet. So I wanted to write the pattern for her. But this was one of my very first amigurumi. I didn't even attach the horn properly. So I just couldn't resist and revamp the pattern before I share it with you. I hope Amber's daughter approves, but if not, I'm going to send her the pattern for this anyway. I just gonna write it down quickly. But I just wanted to take the opportunity to make a new unicorn pencil topper as well as a little dragon for those of you who prefer dragons. The base of the pattern is the same, so I'm just going to crochet the dragon head, but if you want to make the unicorn only, that's no problem at all. Just crochet along with me. The only difference is that you're going to use white or cream color yarn or whichever color you want to use for your unicorn instead of the green. And then afterwards, I'm going to show you how to crochet the details for the little dragon, but I'll show you when I'll start with the details for the little unicorn so that you can jump there if you want to make the unicorn only. So I hope you'll enjoy this little project. Let's get started. For this project, we need a 2.5 millimeter hook. That's something in between a size B1 and C2. If you tend to crochet quite loosely, I recommend going for a size B1 rather than a C2. And then we need yarn in a DK or light worsted weight. And for the unicorn pencil topper, we need a white or cream color, and then a color for the horn, and 3 colors that you would like the hair to have. And for the little dinosaur, I picked a bright green, dark green, and a very light green. Then we need some fiber fill, safety eyes. You can use any size you like. I'm using 7 millimeter safety eyes. And of course, you can also embroider the eyes instead. Then we need a yarn needle, stitch marker, scissors, of course, and I recommend you have the pen that you want the pencil topper to fit at hand, just to see and try if it fits, just to double check. We also need some pins to pin the ears and horns in place. The head of both the unicorn and the dragon are exactly the same. So I'm gonna crochet the dragon head now, but even if you want to make the unicorn, you can crochet along with me. Later we'll do the separate details for the dragon and the unicorn, and I'll let you know where to jump to if you want to make the unicorn only. So I'm using my green yarn for the dragon head, and we begin with a magic ring. And we single crochet 6 in the magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then close the magic ring. And in round 2, we increase. So we increase in all 6 stitches, so that once the round is complete, we'll have 12 stitches. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In round 3, we increase in every other stitch. So we single crochet in the next stitch and then increase in the next. And we repeat this 6 times altogether. So once the round is complete, we'll have 18 stitches. In round 4, we'll single crochet in all 18 stitches. Then in round 5, we increase some more. So this time we single crochet in the next 2 stitches and increase in every 3rd stitch. And we repeat this 6 times in total. So once the round is complete, we'll have 24 stitches. In round 6, we keep increasing, but this time we crochet in the front loops only. So we single crochet in the front loops of the next 3 stitches. And then we increase in the front loop of the next stitch. And once again, we repeat this 5 more times, 6 times in total. In round 7, we crochet in both loops of the stitches again, and we keep increasing. This time we single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 2, 3, 4, and then we increase in every 5th stitch. And we repeat this 5 more times. So once the round is done, we'll have 36 stitches. Now in round 8 to 12, so in the next 5 rounds, we'll simply single crochet in all 36 stitches. So you can pause the video here, and once you've completed the next 5 rounds of 36 single crochet, you can hit play. That's our 5 rounds of 36 single crochet complete. So now in round 13 we start decreasing. We single crochet in the next 4 stitches. And then we decrease. And we do this 5 more times, 6 times altogether. So once the round is done, we'll have 30 stitches. That's round 13 done. Now in round 14 we keep decreasing. And this time we single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then we decrease. And once again we do this 6 times altogether. So once the round is complete, we'll have a stitch count of 24. That's round 14 complete, and now we can secure our stitch because it's time to attach the safety eyes and start filling the head. So I'm going to be using these 7mm safety eyes, but of course you can use any size you like, or maybe you prefer to embroider the eyes. So in the round that we crocheted in the front loops only, there are quite big gaps where we made the increases, and I'm going to use these 2 of these to fit in the eyes. I still need to widen the gaps a little because my eyes are quite chunky, and I'm using cotton yarn, so it's quite firm. So usually I just use my scissors to carefully widen the gap if necessary. And then I skip the next gap that was formed because of the increase, and then insert the second eye in the next gap there. And that's it. So you might want to play around with the placement of the eyes, and once you like where they are, then you can secure them. And that's it. So now we can start filling the head with fiber fill. I'll just take a small portion just to make sure the snout is filled first. I'll just push it in with the back of my hook. Just make sure that there's enough fiber fill between the back ends of the eyes and around them. That's enough for now, so we'll add some more later. And in the next round, we keep decreasing. So this time we single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then we decrease. And as before, we do this 6 times altogether. So 2 single crochet and 1 decrease. So once the round is complete, we'll have a stitch count of 18. And as you can see, I'm using my middle finger to push in the fiber fill, just to avoid crocheting it into the stitches. Was that right? No, I skipped one here. I'll just add a little more fiber fill before we continue with the next round. So in the next round we keep decreasing. This time we single crochet in the next stitch and then we decrease. And we do this 5 more times. Single crochet and decrease. So once the round is done, we'll have 12 stitches left. So in the last round, we'll decrease 6 times. That was 1, 2, and 6. So now we can fasten off. And now we'll need our yarn needle. And we'll stitch through the front loops of all 6 stitches. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we pull tight, and now we insert the end in the middle of the last round, and we just stitch through somewhere where we want to weave in the yarn end. So now if we pull the yarn tight, then everything should be smoothed out. And then we can weave in our yarn end. That's the head done. So next we're going to make the neck, or the tube where the pen or pencil goes in. So you need the pen or pencil that you definitely want the pencil topper to fit. And then yarn in the same color that you made the head in. And then we'll chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we close this chain of 8 to a round. So we single crochet in the first chain that we made here. And now we have a little ring. And then we single crochet in the remaining 7 chains. That's the first round done. Now I recommend that you crochet another round before you double check if this round of 8 will fit your pencil. So single crochet in all 8 stitches. Four, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now you should be able to see if it will fit. That's looking good. So if it's too small, you might need to add 1 or 2 more chains or 1 or 2 more stitches to the round. So you can just experiment with this until you get it right. So if the round of 8 or however many stitches you made fits the pencil, then you can crochet 8 more rounds without any increases or decreases. So just a long cylinder shape. So altogether you will have 10 rounds of the number of stitches that fit your pencil. So once our round of 10 is complete, we can fasten off with a long yarn end for sewing. And then the first thing to do is weave in the other end. And then I find it easier to sew on this tube with the pen in, so that you will find the right placement. So it should go on the bottom middle of the head. I recommend you just pin it in place. And then you can just double check if it's in the right position. Just have a look from all sides. Let's have a look. So that's around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I pinned mine on round 9 to 11 in the bottom middle. So once you've pinned it in place, just sew it on all around. Make sure the pen is not fully inserted, just so you have enough room there to sew. So we'll just sew it on stitch by stitch. Until it's attached all around, and then we might need to sew another round to make sure it's firmly attached. Now I've sewn twice around and I've woven in the end, so now the head is firmly attached. I'm going to continue with this little dragon, but if you're making the unicorn, you can jump to whichever minute I'm going to put here, so we can crochet the unicorn ears and horn together and also attach the mane. So now we'll crochet the spines, I think they're called, directly on the head. So for this we're going to need our dark green yarn, and now we insert our hook in between round 6 and 7 of the head. Somewhere between the eyes, as as far in the middle as possible. And then we take the green yarn and pull a loop out of there. Then we insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds. Just like this. And we pick up the yarn and pull a second loop out of there. So now we have 2 loops on our hook. And with these, we're going to make a single crochet. So in this case, we don't want to crochet too tightly, just to make sure that the spines stand up nicely and don't bend down. So then we yarn over and insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds. Pick up the yarn, pull it through. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. And with these, we are going to make a half double crochet. Now we yarn over again. Insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds. Right there. Pick up the yarn, pull it through, and half double crochet. Now this time we yarn over twice, insert our hook in the same spot this time, pick up the yarn and treble crochet. So we pull the loop through the first, pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on our hook, pick it up again, pull it through the next 2 loop on the hook. There we go. And pick it up again and pull it through the remaining loops on our hook. Now we yarn over once, insert our hook again in the same spot and double crochet. Now we yarn over once more. This time we insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds. Pick up the yarn, pull it through, and half double crochet. So once in a while, it's helpful to make sure that we're crocheting in the middle. So just double check if everything's aligning with the middle. Now we insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds, pick up the yarn and single crochet. And we insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds, pick up the yarn, and this time we slip stitch. I just had to frog a little because I was going off center. So now we insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds, pick up the yarn and single crochet. And then we yarn over, insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds and half double crochet. Then we yarn over again, insert our hook in the same spot, pick up the yarn, pull it through, and double crochet. Now we yarn over twice, insert our hook in the same spot again, pick up the yarn, and this time we treble crochet again. So we pick up the yarn, pull it through the 2 first loops on our hook, pick it up again, pull it through the next 2 loops, and pick it up again and pull it through the 2 remaining loops. Now we yarn over once, insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds, pick up the yarn, pull it through, and double crochet. Just double checking again to make sure I'm not going off center. But it's looking better this time. Now we yarn over, insert our hook in between the next two rounds, pick up the yarn and half double crochet. Then we insert our hook in between the next two rounds, pick up the yarn and single crochet. And we do this again. Now I've reached the middle of the last round that we made. Pull the yarn through. And slip stitch. So now we insert our hook in between the next two rounds, pick up the yarn, pull it through and single crochet. Then we yarn over, insert our hook in the next spot, yarn over, pull it through and half double crochet. Then we yarn over again, insert our hook in the same spot, 2 double crochet. And then again we yarn over twice, insert our hook in the same spot, pick up the yarn, pull it through, pick up the yarn and pull it through the first 2 loops, pick it up, pull it through the next 2 loops, pick it up and pull it through the 2 remaining loops. Then we yarn over once, insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds, and double crochet. That's looking okay. Then we yarn over, insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds, pick up the yarn, pull it through and half double crochet. Then we insert our hook in between the next 2 rounds, just single crochet, and in between the next 2 rounds, to make a slip stitch. Oops. And that's it. Now if the spines are nice and centered, we can fasten off. And then we just need to weave in the 2 yarn ends. Now I just wanted to show you that you can use the weaving in the end to cover spots like this, where the brighter green might show through. So if you weave it in this way, then you can cover these spots of brighter yarn showing through. And that's it, looking much better. Now all we've got left to do are the small horns for the little dragon. So I'm using the very pale green for this. And we begin with a magic ring. So I'm trying very hard to crochet loosely because we are going to have a tiny round of 4 single crochet, and that's easier to work with if the stitches aren't too tight. So as I said, we begin with 4 single crochet in the magic ring. It's 2, 3, and 4. Then we close the ring, but not too tightly just yet. So it will be easier to crochet the next round. In the second round, we simply single crochet in all 4 stitches. So I left the loop very long, but now before we pick up the yarn, we should tighten it. That's 1. 2. 3. And 4. So now we can tighten the magic ring properly. And now we only have 1 round left to go, in which we'll increase. So we increase in the next stitch. Oops. Then we single crochet in the next. Increase in the next. And single crochet in the last stitch. And then we fasten off, leaving the yarn end long enough to sew the horn on. And that's 1 tiny horn done. So now we just need to crochet another one, and then we can attach them. So that was round 1, 4 single crochet, round 2, 4 single crochet, round 3, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet. You can play around with where you want to place the little horns. I pinned them on round 10 and 11 with about 4 stitches space in between the spines. And with this size, the 7mm eyes I used, there are 3 round space in between the eyes and horns. So now I'll just sew them on all around. And then our little dragon pencil topper is complete. Now the horns are sewn on, and this means our little dragon pencil topper is complete now. I hope you enjoyed this little project. Unless you want to make the unicorn as well, I'm going to say goodbye to you, and just to let you know, if you have any questions, please leave a comment. I'm always happy to help. Now, if you want to start over to make the unicorn, then go to whichever minute I'm going to put there to start making the unicorn. Next, we'll single crochet the horn for the unicorn. So pick any color you'd like the horn to be. I'm going for this lavender color. And once again, we begin with the magic ring. And then we single crochet 4 in the magic ring. Then close the ring, but not too tightly yet. And then in round 2, we increase. Then we single crochet in the second stitch, increase again in the third stitch, and single crochet 1 in the fourth stitch. Now we can properly tighten the magic ring. In round 3, we single crochet in all 6 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then in the next round we increase. Then single crochet in the next 2. And repeat, so increase in the next stitch. And single crochet in the next 2. Then in the next round we single crochet in all 8 stitches that our round now has. Oops. Six, 7, and 8. And that's the horn done. So now we can finish with a slip stitch and then leave a long enough end to sew the horn on the head. Now we'll single crochet the unicorn ears. So use the same color you used for the head. And we begin with the magic ring. Then we single crochet 4 in the magic ring. And close the ring, but not too tightly just yet. So in round 2 we increase in the first stitch. Then we single crochet in the second, increase again in the third, and single crochet 1 in the fourth stitch. Now we can properly tighten the magic ring. And this will help us turn the ear the right way in case it turned inside out. So now our round has 6 stitches. And in the next round we keep increasing. So increase in the first stitch. And then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Increase in the next stitch. And single crochet in the next 2. So now we have a round of 8, and in the next round we'll decrease already. So we single crochet the first 2 stitches together. And then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And repeat. So, oops. Single crochet the next 2 together. And single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And that's one little ear done already. So we finish with the slip stitch and then fasten off with a long enough end to sew the ear on. So that's one ear done. Pause the video here to make the second ear, or if you need a refresher on how we did this, you can go back to whichever minute I'm gonna put there in this video to crochet the second one together with me. So now we can sew on the horn and the little ears. I'm gonna start with the horn. So I'll just thread the long end on my yarn needle. And first I recommend you pin it in place together with the ears, like I did, just so you can double check if you like the position of the horn. And then just sew it on all around. So I pinned it on round 8 to 10. Can still move it a little bit further back. So now it's exactly on round 8 to 10. So I'll just go through each stitch all around. And once you've sewn it on all around, then just make sure that it's firmly attached. And if it isn't, then you can make another round. Just make one more stitch here in the back. And if it is firmly attached now, then you can just weave in the yarn ends. This shorter one I could have actually hidden inside the horn. Now we can sew on the ears. So the ears I pinned on, this is round 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, on round 12 and 13. And they have each about 2 stitches space between where the horn is. But of course they are a few rounds behind the horn. So I would just play around with it and pin them in different places until you're happy with the placement. And then just do what we did with the horn. That's the ears and horn attached. So now all that's left is the mane. So for the mane, I chose these 3 colors and I cut 9 strings in each color, and these are 22 centimeters long, which is 8.5 inches. So 9 in each color, and now it's up to you. You can either pick 3 in the same color or 1 of each, depending how you would like the mane to look. I'm going for 1 in each color. Then we'll just hold them together and find the middle. So we make a little loop there. And now we'll attach these 3 pieces of yarn right behind the horn. So I inserted my hook here in between stitches, and now I'll just pull the yarn through, and the ends go through the loops now and pull them tight. And this way we work our way downwards. The next one is gonna go here. Just make sure, double check once in a while that you're going in a straight line, more or less straight line down the back of the head. So you could either alter the colors. So for example, pick 3 in peach, then 3 in this orchid color, and then 3 in lavender. That would also look fun. But I'm just going to mix them all like so. That's the second group done. So I'm attaching 3 pieces of yarn between each of the rows. That's the full mane attached. So now you can cut it all to the same length. Or cut it whichever way you like. You can make it short and punky, but I'm gonna leave it longer this time. That's it. Maybe one last finishing touch. This is completely optional, of course. Just want to paint the inside of the ears with some pink blush. And that's it. And that's our little unicorn pencil topper complete. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you have any questions, make sure to leave me a comment below. I'm always happy to help. Thank you so much for watching and crocheting along with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to like it. It helps others know that this might be worth their time as well. And also, if you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any future crochet tutorials. Make sure to ring the bell to turn notifications on. Thank you so much and happy creating. Bye!